Hi, you guys. I'm so excited. So I made this fun little like beach purse kind of thing. All I did was they're two round table mats, not tablecloths, placemats, yeah, placemats. And I just thought the blue color was so fun. So then I went to my craft store and I got this braided ribbon and I got white because I couldn't really find any blue or anything to go with it. And then I wanted to be able to fit stuff inside of the purse. So I got this white ribbon. It's like 2 inches thick. It's woven ribbon and it's the same color as the strap. So I felt like that would match okay. So then right on the edge, all I did was line it up with the placemat and kind of figure out how much I would need for it to go the whole way around. And I didn't want it to go the whole way. I wanted to obviously make sure to leave room on the top. But then sew literally right on the edge of it, as close to the edge as you can. And then make sure your daughter's cute little toes are hanging out in there. And then do the same thing on the other side. All you do is flatten it down while you sew around so that you can fit it in your sewing machine, or you can hand sew it too. See how I just kind of like flattened it? And then as you go, you just keep moving the circles on top of each other to flatten them. And again, just sew as close to the edge as possible. And then take your straps, decide how long you want them. And I folded mine over so that I could like sew them a little bit and the ends wouldn't fray or anything. And then I just sewed on top of them back and forth a few times, up and down a few times, just to really make sure. I didn't want them to fray. If you want, you could get something that does fray and make it like a cool detail on the bag. I tried to fray mine, and the way that my ribbon was made, it looked really, really funky. So I decided not to. But again, that could be a really cool option. If you get a ribbon, you'd have to do like a woven ribbon, and then you could fray the ends before you attach it, but that would look really cool. But so just decide how long you want the straps to be. You can do one big strap and then attach it to those side pieces of ribbon. I decided to do 2 smaller straps. And then obviously make sure if you do 2 straps, make sure they're both the same length as each other. And again, if you don't want them to fray, make sure you finish those edges somehow, whether you just sew over them a few times, do a zigzag stitch over them. If they are like polyester, you could take a lighter and kind of melt the ends a little bit. Just be really careful anytime you use fire. And then pin where you want them to be. I wanted mine to sit like somewhat wide across the purse. But I lined mine up on my cutting mat with one of the squares. That way, when I turned the purse over, I would know that both of the straps were the same width apart on the other side of the bag as well. So then I just pinned them in place. I folded the raw edges under, and you could pin that as well, but mine was getting pretty thick at this point. And then you can hand sew it or machine sew it to keep those down. Make sure that your straps aren't like twisted or anything at this point. And then repeat the same thing on the other side, making sure that not only they're at the same place on the purse, so they're lined up, but make sure that height-wise they're the same height as the other handle. Take your time with that part because it's going to drive you nuts if one of your handles accidentally ends up longer than the other one. And you don't necessarily have to do like 2. Again, you can do like 1 strap. I mean, really, you don't even have to put the ribbon in between if you don't want like a really big bag. I wanted mine for the beach, so I wanted to make sure I can put like sunscreen and towels and all sorts of goodies in there. Again, just pin them down, and I tucked the edges under so that they wouldn't fray or anything. And then just sew them really well. And then you can decorate it however you want. If you have leftover ribbon, you could do something fun. So mine has a lot of space on the inside now. I put like a little, what do you call those? Like a hair wrap That's not what it's called. I don't know, one of those thingies. A bandana? It's not really a bandana. Well, I tied it on. Decorate it however you want.